What's up? What's up, guys? What's going on? What up? Welcome to the RF Deal Desk. We are here, full effect. Here we go. Hope everybody's doing well. This is going to be a super quick one. We're going to go for about 15 minutes today. So I got my comments open. Let me know if you have any deals that you want me to review, because I'm going right into it. Hey, Will, thanks for being here every night. It is truly appreciated. Oh, you're welcome, man. Appreciate it. I love being here. Dirty Deeds, nah, it's Taco Tuesday for title problems. Willie just keeps adding the right sauce until the deal tastes right. Reverse flipping, turning chaos into cuisine. Wow, dude, you should have been a writer. You know, you got a lot of really good lines. So, guys, we're gonna jump right into it. I have open here a probate that we did October, right? I was talking to someone recently, and you know, probates are a good source of deals. First of all, specifically for me, like we do them all the time. I love probates. If you don't know what a probate is, it's pretty much when somebody dies, right? And the decedent, the person on title, their family members inherit the property, either via a will or not, etc. But the probate is the action that you have to do to move title from the decedent to the heirs, beneficiaries, depending on the scenario. Okay. I was having a conversation, and this gentleman, very experienced guy, and in South Florida, and he was telling me, he's like, man, you know, these probates are taking so long. And I was like, well, what does that mean? And he said, you know, some of these probates take 6 months, some of them 8 months, some of them a year. And I'm like, what? Like, you got to be kidding me, right? Look, I can tell you right now, if you're in Florida and your probate, again, without some really rare exceptions, and I mean rare exceptions, are taking longer, if a summary administration is taking longer than 30-ish, maybe 40 days, you got a problem. One. Again, unless it's very specific examples, there are exceptions to every rule. If it's a formal, which I don't typically love to do, but sometimes they're formals, right? Because they typically have a creditor period and all that stuff. And it's taking longer than 90 to 120 days, you got a problem. Okay, somebody is not doing right by you. Don't let anybody tell you different. Please. So I want to show you here. This is just one probate, and I have another one to show you too. You can see here that the orders were filed, right? 8/21 of last year. Okay, so that's August 21st. The probate was done October 23rd, and the only reason this probate took 2 months, which is still very fast, by the way. The only reason it took 2 months was because the death certificate took forever to get from the Department of Vital Statistics. They did not have an original copy of the death certificate. In Florida, you can file a copy to start the probate, but before the probate ends, you do need an original. So 2 months. This was a six-figure deal from someone in the RF community. It was a JV. That is what this should look like, and it actually should be faster. So I'm going to backtrack, and hopefully let me see. Oh, here we go. Here's another one, right? This probate was filed January 29th of this year, and it was finalized February 9th of this year. Okay, so that's like 11 days, give or take, 10 days, something like that, right? That is fast, and that's how it should be. What's crazy is, and some of you may be asking yourselves like, oh yeah, but you know, probably a simple probate, one heir, etc., etc. No. On the contrary, it was actually, it was two probates. So one probate was a third. One of those third percentage heirs, Cynthia Hicks, was deceased. So her heirs had to be probated for her heirs, which you can see here. It was a fifth. Okay, so it was 2 layers of probates. Both probates were done in less than 14 days. So do you ever market to attorneys? Not really. No, I do not market to attorneys. I have relationships with attorneys at this point in my career, right? They send me probates from every now and then. I do not market directly to attorneys. No, I think it's a waste to do that. That's a story for another time. Are these uncontested? Yeah, they are uncontested, right? Which, again, they should be uncontested the way that we teach you, because we grab all the pre-deal underwriting and all that kind of stuff. So we know what we're getting into, is what I'm trying to say, before we go in. All right, like, we know the whole family tree, we know the heirs, right? Now, it's different if you have a probate with partitions. That's a little different, where going in, hey, we're gonna do a probate. We only have 50% ownership. We're gonna have to file a partition, usually within the same probate case. FYI, and we're gonna force the other 50% to join us in the sale. That's a little different. Obviously, that's gonna take longer. Partitions can take anywhere. I mean, the fastest I've ever seen them is 3 months, maybe 2 months if you get an agreement. Usually, they're gonna take 4 to 6 months. All right. Are all probate records locked? No, they're not locked. I'm just not logged in. I'm not logged into the thing. So they should not be locked. Some probates are locked. Wills are usually locked. That's just normal, redacting and stuff like that. But no, they're not locked, and you can look up probates. Again, you guys have seen me. So if I didn't have the case number here, for example, right, what I would have done is grab the decedent, which, let's just grab their name, right? And where I would have gotten that is from the property appraiser, where it would have said, like, oh, estate of, or EST. So if I didn't have the case number, I would grab this and I would click Cynthia, right? The decedent on title. And I would just boop. And then I would look for this. I would filter, and here's her probate case, you see? And now I have it. Boom. And then here's the case number. So you can look them up either way, right? It's ideal if you do have the probate case numbers, though. I know someone who's near the top of a mortgage company. Are mortgage companies good to network with regarding foreclosures? Yeah, man. I'm not going to say no. I'm just going to say that they have a very strict procedure and all that kind of stuff. The chances of you being able to get things from them or foreclosures, they have certain federal guidelines that they have to follow. So it has to be REOs and, very specific ways of giving the property remediation. Then it goes to REOs, and then it hits the MLS, et cetera. And they're usually, actually all of them most of the time are just overpriced, and they're just not worth it. So I wouldn't even. It's good to network with people. Don't get me wrong. You may see an opportunity from there, but I probably wouldn't spend a lot of time on something like that. Let me go to. Hold on. I'm gonna look up another one. Let me see here. Hold on. So, does anybody have any questions or any deals that they want to review? Because John Sudlow, thanks. You're welcome, bro. Anybody have an actual deal that they want to review? Because if not, I'm going to grab one right off the auction here, and I'm going in. So right here, we're going to go to the tax deed auction. You guys, you're always looking for leads and stuff like that. I'm just going to grab this one right here. This is Miami Gardens, okay? This is a free list that you can grab in Florida at any time. And look, all the sites are right here. This is crazy to me that people don't use this more often. These are all the counties in Florida. They even have New Jersey, Colorado. But anyway, this site right here, I'm going to grab a lead, and I'm just going to run it real quick. And then horoscope love, I'm going to get to yours right after that. And then we're going to have to jump. So this was a tax deed sale. It went to tax deed clearly. Somebody bought this. This was before. You guys see this? It was like an unfinished rehab. After. That's pretty cool the way they did it. It's terrible pictures on the realtor's behalf, but hey, realtors be realtors. So they took it down, status change date. So for some reason, this is going to auction. That's crazy. Can you throw the link to that site here? Maybe. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I'm going to throw the regular site. So Miami-Dade, you need to create a free login. And then once you log in, this will take you to all the other sites. Some counties are broken down by tax deed sales and then mortgage foreclosure sales. They are different. All right. So let's go back. Exit this out. Let's go back and look at what's going on here. So this property is crazy because it's going to tax deed. I doubt that they'll let it go to tax deed, but crazy to me. The house has been vacant. All right, published date. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so this is actually, so they applied on October 24th. The sale date is March 19th. Yeah, it's crazy. It's $31,000, but they're probably going to pay those. And clearly something's going on because they were trying to sell this for $649. So this is Belarus Online LLC. So it looks like she just bought it. She didn't pay her taxes and she's going to move on. All right, let me go to, what's your name, Horoscope Love? 12042 Concord Street. Did I spell that wrong? Concord. That's interesting. Hello. Are you sure that's the right address? One 2042 Concord. Let's try this. Dan. What's up, Dan? Concord Street. Williamson, Georgia. Here we go. Is this the right property? Yeah, is this the right property? Is it out here rural in the middle of nowhere, Dan? Yeah, I would just stop right here. There's nothing for you here. This is too rural of a property. It's going to be very difficult to, even if you got it at a great deal, there's really no one to sell it to. So I'm not interested, and I wouldn't waste my time if I was you, sir. If there's a redeemed tax certificate, does that mean that the property won't be subject to a tax sale? When you say a redeemed tax certificate, so it's a little complicated. The tax certificates, usually when it's redeemed, that means that it's over, right? When they redeem it. So because Florida really doesn't have a redemption period. Don't listen to people when they say like, oh, there is a redemption period, it's 10 days. No, as soon as it's redeemed or as soon as there's a certificate of title, you are dunzo atori hanzo. So if there's a tax certificate, that means that somebody's going to apply for the deed, which is that case here. And you can see here, right, that this is what you're looking at. So somebody redeemed this, or excuse me, somebody applied for the deed because they had a certificate. And here's their documents, right? How they served everybody. Boom, 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 boom. By the way, little ninja hack here. If you wanted to know what the hell was going on, you could actually have a title search. They give it to you for free. So you actually can know what the hell is going on here. So again, because you're usually buying these sight unseen, you could go through the whole title search right here, and I can know everything that's going on this property. And again, here's everything. This is free 99. Mortgages open if there are any, which there shouldn't be because it's a tax certificate. Here's a notice of list pendants, right? If there's any other, there's a condo foreclosing on that. I mean, you can see everything here, which is crazy. Here's a tax deed document. So certification of the tax deed application. This is what you're talking about. If somebody already redeemed it, that usually means that somebody lost it and it's over. Okay? Yeah, at the tax collector, correct. Yeah, Dan, I would move on to another lead, brother. Just not worth it. So, guys, like I said, this one's going to be a quick one tonight. I got to be somewhere. I got to be at a meeting, but I wanted to make sure I hopped on here. As always, it's a pleasure. The link right there to submit is on the QR code to submit your deals. I will see you guys tomorrow, 5 to 6, for a lot longer, probably be on for 30 to 45 minutes. Appreciate all the addresses. In your experience, what's the most overlooked probate scenario that becomes a high equity reverse flip once the title issues are cleaned up? What's the most overlooked probate scenario? Most overlooked probate scenario. I mean, having the wrong heirs, somebody who files the probate and didn't realize that there was other heirs, so you could go get the other heirs and buy their deed and, you know, jump into the probate. Another one is, you know, probates that were filed, you know, 2-3 years ago, even a year ago, and they were just stale. That's a really good lead to go after because somebody messed up and somebody got stuck along the probate. Adios, amigo. Adios. Willie, any meetings coming up in Boca? Probably April, May, tentatively. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. Guys, have a great night. Appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to this so you can get the notifications. Hit the little bell. Like and subscribe to the videos. I appreciate you guys.